so can you pass one of those to Ralph, please? Thank you.
Sir, this is my word here.
The prayer today is the morning prayer. Your word, O Lord, is a lamp to my feet and a light for my path. Dear Jesus, keep me safely in your loving arms. Bless me with your peace that passes all understanding. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Commissioner's office is requesting the board approve and execute the minutes of the meeting of June 23rd, 2022.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Just the
Aye.
budget. You're not here. Okay, so
Oh, yes. Abstain. Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Okay.
Jerry?
Okay, on August 15th, for the Department on Aging, I approved hiring J.B. Norris to the position of part-time recreation and education assistant to be effective August 22nd, 2022, at the rate of $15.57 per hour with a one-year probationary period. This offer of employment is contingent upon the successful completion of the required pre-employment conditions. For the Department of Development Building, I accepted the resignation of Larry Hayden, multi-certified inspector, to be effective September 8th, 2022. For the Department of Water Resources, approved unpaid personal leave of absence for Nick Goris for up to 48 hours during the remainder of the month of August 2022 for previously planned time off.
Thank you. Adrian?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Today's financials include a cash transfer from the general fund to the Sheriff's 800 Communications Fund for their first half 2022 support. Among the encumbrances are a travel request from the Recorder's Office to attend the Ohio Recorders Association Fall Continuing Education Conference. And among the vouchers are $34,629 from the Commissioner's Office to NOACA for our fiscal year 2023 membership dues, $718,987.62 from the Commissioner's Office to Environments for Business for office furniture for the new county office building, and $293,936.60 from the Engineer's Office to Roniak Paving Incorporated to pay for the asphalt resurfacing of Bass Lake Road sections A through C.
Questions? I'll make that motion. Second.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Aye.
Commissioner Levin.
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Airport Authority? Jerry, you want to take that? Update us on that?
This is their application for the, excuse me, for the other part of the grant with the ODOT for the Hodgins property for that purchase. This was their remaining grant that they needed.
So this is a resolution authorizing Sheriff's Airport President to execute his contract application.
So is that just going to be then, so that, because it was donated, correct, but it's just to do some improvements or something?
No, this is the match.
Okay.
Remember the original grant that was supposed to be done was 100% when they had to refile the application and grant the second time. It included a county match and a local match
I see.
from ODOT, and this is the application for the ODOT portion of that grant, that 13,220.
So this is just pretty much finalizing what we,
The FAA grant has already been received.
okay.
This is just the match portion from ODOT.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Levin.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Planning?
Good morning.
Hi, Linda.
I prepared a visual aid to help with this, just to help it a little bit more visual.
Hey, good to see you. How are you?
Okay, so this is regarding an easement in Parkman Township that the county commissioner was told. It was a right-of-way easement for a telecommunications tower, and it's located on Madison Road, the southeast corner of State Route 528 and Farley Road, parcel 25079700. So there was an easement recorded in 2010, again for the cell tower. The property since transferred into a new person's name, and they're in the process of splitting the property in order to sell it, but it's all going up for auction. They're not going through a realtor, they're just gonna put it up for auction. So the southern most parcel there that you see is an 8-acre split, and the area highlighted in green is the easement area that is held by the county commissioners. The area highlighted in orange is the cell towers in the middle, and then it is supported by 3 sets of guy wires that spread out across the easement area. So the easement has a stipulation that the property owner would not split the property that would materially affect the commissioner's use of the easement. It did go to the prosecutor's office and the county sheriff's office. Mr. Bartholomew from the sheriff's office indicated that the proposed split should not impact their operations. It is a little bit peculiar because that easement takes up the whole width of the lot. It's a 400-foot wide split, and the easement is 400 feet wide. And the location of those guide wires is going to restrict where a new residential driveway could be installed. It's really going to limit the driveway to the extreme northern end of that property, but buyer beware. I mean, they're just going to have to be aware that that property is subject to the easement. It is a little peculiar because the easement is on a 20-year term. It was approved in October 2010, so it'll expire in October 2030. So at that point, I'm not sure, what's going to happen with re-upping the easement. But this is before you, so that the property owner can attempt to auction the properties off. With your knowledge that this is, that the easement is on the property. And I am going to make the Parkman Township zoning inspector aware of the easement during the lot split process.
So let me ask you, so the tower that's on there, is that one of our 911 towers?
I believe it is, yes, for county communications.
The radio tower.
Radio tower, smart tower. So why, is there a possibility, would it be smart for us, if they're in the process of selling it, for us to maybe just avoid all that and purchase that, just so we have a future, no headaches as far as if we have to make some updates or changing the tower? I mean, it's only 8 acres, and they're gonna auction it. Can we talk to the property owner to see if there's something we can do before we go through all of this? I mean, unless you're opposed to that, Scott.
No, that's the first I've heard of it, so.
Yeah, because you know how that is every time then something has to change or something, and if we gotta put something over the line, I mean, it's gonna limit us to what, 4 acres then?
Right, it's around 3.
I mean, it would just be, we could potentially save some headaches for down the road and how much is 8 acres really gonna, hurt us in the sense of just being able to do that? I'm just saying that I think that we need to look at this forward than just, think about this guy trying to sell this. We could maybe help him and help ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, the front of the lot, as you can see, the whole thing is the tower and the guy wires, which limits putting anything on it essentially to the rear of it. But no, I see your point.
And if somebody moves there, they're gonna be glowing like a light stick, So I don't know, it's something to think about. Let me ask you this, can we table this and then you can maybe talk to them, or I don't know?
Oh yeah, there's no guarantee that
Yeah.
that the commissioners would immediately just
Right,
sign off on it. So I could get back to
yeah,
the title company and the property owner about potentially
yeah,
discussing it further about potentially purchasing it.
yeah,
They had to rearrange the lot configuration. This lot split proposal changed quite a bit. First they were proposing 2, then they were proposing 6. They bumped it back down to 5, so they've kind of been all over the place with what they're proposing.
because the other situation too is this is something that, if we end up going towards that ARPA dollars to be able to do on that communications tower for infrastructure, that could possibly qualify too, Jerry. So I would ask if you guys are all right, table that till we can just ask some questions.
I'd like to investigate again. Be beneficial for the county.
We're under no time constraints with this, or?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, just the property owner wanting to sell it, that's it, which is going to carry the commissioner.
Okay. Make a motion to table that.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Miller?
Aye?
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Warren?
Yep.
Thanks, Tim.
Sheriff's Office.
Here.
Good morning.
So we're here to, we need to retire two of our dogs because of medical reasons. Argo, which is here, is 9 years old.
He's somewhat famous, right?
Yeah.
A little bit famous in Geauga County.
So he was a bomb dog and a drug dog, and Jim Dare's dog, a minor, who's 11 and a half, he's to retire also.
Okay.
So we'll be in the process of, I don't know if you remember, but when Sheriff McClellan passed away, there were a lot of donations, so we should be in good shape. One of the donations was from the trainer, that the whole training was paid for.
Wow.
One of the stipulations that, well, not a stipulation, but we told Bev that it was possible she could name the new dog.
Nice. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So I just want to congratulate these guys, and they're not retiring, but the dogs are.
Yeah.
They're not.
By the way,
And so with the retired police dogs now, you're able to take the dog in and it'll become your dog then? Is that what we're doing?
Well, we'll know here in about 5 minutes when you guys vote on it, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna pay a whole $1 for it.
That's great, yeah.
You know, obviously, the dog can't go anywhere else.
That's right,
They
yeah.
stay with the
That's
handlers
awesome.
and with them all this time.
Now, will you start all over again with puppies? Or no?
I'm no, he's getting a new dog.
New dog, okay. Yeah.
Probably a year old.
Yeah. I don't know if you were there, I know you were there when I put the bite suit on, a few years back, and I was the bad guy, and they
He
chased
hasn't
me
been
around.
right since.
You know. I'll tell you, you do not want to be on the wrong end of that thing. That is a fact. Yeah, I mean, they are incredible. I mean, they're one of the team. I'm sure you guys probably think of them as a family member at this point, and they really are incredible asset to have in the county. But I just want to thank you guys for coming in today and sharing this with us, and whatever we can do to help support this program, the K9 program. I think it's very important in a lot of different on a lot of different fronts. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I think it's very useful in the county. I know that you guys applied this well in different situations, a lost person or a hunter in the woods or and this and that. So it's,
Or a bad guy.
I think it are the bad people,
Yeah.
yes. But so you're gonna, normally you have 4 canines?
If there's anything we can do to help, the commissioners can help with any, I know it sounds like there's a lot of interest and support when it comes to funding this. And, but if there's anything else that this board can do to help, let us know.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations. I'll make the motion on that.
I'll second that.
okay, just so you know, there's 2.
Yep, on
Okay.
both of them.
Okay.
Christie?
6 and 7?
6 and 7.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Absolutely.
Okay, congratulations.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
And if you guys, or at least the sheriff, if you can stick around towards the end here, we're gonna discuss the Stepping Up initiative in the jail, so if you can stick around for a second. Okay.
Follow.
Yeah, what do you have?
He's worried.
Did you bring your parrot today or?
Goldfish?
All right, so item number 8, Community and Economic Development is requesting the board grant permission to re-advertise for the bids for the Geauga County Department on Aging Paratransit Van to be held on Wednesday, September 7th, 2022 at 2:20 p.m. And the notice of this bid opening will be advertised on August 18th, 2022 and on the county website. So this is round 3 for this process.
Okay. Good.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
And then our next item is, again, Community and Economic Development is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the revised Ohio Department of Development Building Demolition and Site Revitalization Program Grant Agreement. And this is for the period of January 1st, 2022 through May 1st, 2023 in the amount of $500,000. We just signed this, you just signed it 2 weeks ago, they made some revisions through the state, and this is the second round we'll have to endorse.
Sounds good.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Water resources.
Morning. Item 10 on the agenda is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the OWDA payment request number 8 for the McFarland wastewater treatment plant renovation and upgrade project with HDR, an amount of $116,435.61. We're about 31% complete with that.
Great. Before we go any further with this, are we able to utilize our ARPA funds on these upgrades?
I don't know if the ARPA funds are in that.
No, not on, this is the engineering. So when it comes to the construction, they will probably be putting something before the board.
Okay, okay. Because I would suggest, moving forward on these big ticket type things, we start utilizing that. Yes. Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Item 11 on the agenda is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the request for partial payment number 15, retainage for the OWDA contractor's estimate number 15, and fund payment number 15 for Trax Construction Company for the Chardon Township wastewater treatment plant and sewer project in the amount of $28,922.59. We still have some funds that are being withheld with the project. And then about 25,000, a little bit over 25,000 is being retained. We're still working through, and hopefully next month, September, late September, early October, once we get all the other things worked out, we'll get that plant fired up.
Sounds good.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Item 12 on
Yes.
Go ahead, sorry. Real quick, how do the tie-ins go on, the funding for it? Have you heard anything?
We're working on revising the resolution that was passed.
Right.
That right now is sitting at the auditor's office and the prosecutor's office.
Okay, it had to be reworded again. Okay.
The way it was worded, the auditor's office wanted to be paying the bills rather than provide the money and then whatever was left over, return.
Oh, I
They
see.
wanted to keep the money in the ARPA funds and then just pay the bills as they come in. So that's why we're revising the resolution.
Okay, okay.
I do have a question on the Chardon Township wastewater treatment plant. About 8 months ago, I was on site, and there were some guys from Water Resources there, and it was open, so I walked in, and when you walk in the man door, and you turn right, there's another man door. And at the time, it wasn't closing or shutting properly. I just wonder if you could look into that, get back with me.
We'll check it.
Because since we're getting so close to, on the last 2 or 3 retainage funds for the contractor, we should go through a punch list.
I know there is one that is developed. I'll make sure that that's on the list and it gets corrected, and we'll get back to you.
Okay, thanks.
Item 12 on the agenda is requesting the board approve and execute the agreement between the Geauga County Board of Commissioners and Aqua Ohio Incorporated to provide a potable water distribution system within the Geauga County Water District that includes 6 parcels on Little Mountain Road and Menor Road. 6 parcels are identified on the agenda. It's a initial 25-year agreement with an extension for basically 3 revisions to 100 years. But it's parcels that are up in the northern part of Chardon Township.
So explain this a little more, I'm not familiar with what this is.
So basically, Aqua Ohio has water in the vicinity. We do not provide water to that vicinity. There's those 6 parcels that are within our district that are requesting and are going to be obtaining water through.
Okay.
It's very similar to other agreements that we have with, different water suppliers.
When it says a potable water distribution system, is it?
Basically, a water line.
A water line.
Yeah, so you're drinking water
Okay.
to the houses, those 6 parcels.
Nothing, okay.
Nothing, it's more just that they have the ability to provide water.
Gotcha.
And extending it to those 6 residences.
Okay.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Item 13 on the agenda is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the updated accounting forms, authorization form, and payroll authorization forms, just in accounting for signatures.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Aye.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Item 14 is just an amendment to a previous motion from July 27th to revise a date and read, accept the retirement resignation of David Osborne, Operations Manager, to be effective October 3rd, 2022.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Dave, who's been with the county now, how long? Was it a long time, right?
Yeah, he's been 35, 40
35
years.
years. Yeah.
It'll be 30, it'll actually be 36 the day he retires.
Okay.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Please convey our thank you to him.
Okay. Thank you.
Been a leader there.
It has. Thank you.
Thanks.
This is a request that was received in the office. There's the, I got it separated so I can see what I'm doing. It was a request that came into the office. He received, he's been a Boy Scout since 2015, and he's with the Chardon Troop 190. His Eagle Scout project consisted of construction of shelving and storage units for the Chardon High School band room. And they didn't give any information on his court on it, they just asked for a resolution. For his
Okay.
Eagle Scout project.
Okay, well done.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
We have the evaluated Perry drill on Tuesday, September 27th. So I'm asking to move the meeting from Tuesday to Thursday because we have to participate in the evaluated drill. So we still need to have a meeting in a week, so I'm asking to move the meeting from Tuesday to Thursday.
Okay, and when, will the drill be here or at our emergency?
It's at DES.
The GS? Okay.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Spudler. Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
The 24th of this month, not August 24th, we have the dry run of the actual drill that'll take place back on the 27th of September.
And we have a session next Tuesday, right? Yes, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
At this time, we'd like to entertain a conversation with Nami. If you can explain.
Yeah, so Kim,
Step up.
before, yeah, sure, if you want to come up, before we head into executive session here, Kim Carter, who I think everybody knows now, is, discussed with our board, and I went and met with Kim a couple of weeks back related to a number of different issues, but the one that Kim is really pushing and I think been at the forefront and leading in Geauga County here is the Stepping Up initiative. The mission is to help inmates with mental illness, getting connected with clinical treatment, and discussing with our sheriff and the commissioners. This is a statewide initiative that is driven by the commissioners across the state as well as with their sheriffs, and then having an advocate like Kim, who will be, I think, after we discuss with her, I think should be our point person, and then going to the state for it. So, Kim, if you just want to give a little quick background on Stepping Up and who you are and what you do, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So Stepping Up is a national initiative, and it was started to address the jails becoming the new mental health institutions. And Ohio was chosen as one of the 5 target states for Stepping Up, for the whole initiative. It's a nationwide program, but Ohio's under a heat lamp. In Ohio, Chief Justice, retired Chief Justice Evelyn Stratton, leads the Stepping Up Ohio project. And it's a county-by-county project. What it is a project where the commissioners sign a resolution to become a registered Stepping Up county. After that happens, then Stepping Up facilitates Neomed, in our case, in this region, Northeast Ohio Medical University, to come in, and the coordinator would assemble a team, a cross-section of people from across the county that includes clinicians, justice, law enforcement, consumers themselves, anybody in the county that has a significant stake in mental health, together. And then Neomed conducts a process called SIMS mapping, sequential intercept mapping. And essentially what that does is it allows us to take a deep dive look into our county, what services we're currently offering, and who's offering those services, identifying where there are redundancies in those services or where there are gaps or opportunities for additional services. Once we go through that process, then we as a team, Stepping Up is only the facilitator of the process. They don't come in and tell us what to do. They don't make decisions. The people in the room that make up that team are the ones that discuss the project that we want to work on, or projects. From there, then we go back to Stepping Up, and they're part of the process, so they're in the room, they're aware of what's going on, they're lending their expertise and their knowledge. But then we go back to them and propose a project or projects that we want to work on for our county. And then the benefit is that Stepping Up either already has money available or finds the money to help us accomplish that project. That whole process, if we contracted with Neomed to do that, would cost about $35,000. But because of being a registered county, Stepping Up pays for that through their funding. A tie-in to this is Peg's Foundation out of Hudson. They heavily fund Stepping Up, and they're very interested in mental health. And then NAMI Ohio is also part of that whole process. So we are one of 33 remaining counties out of 88 that have not yet become a Stepping Up county. And this is something that I've been advocating for, learning about since I came here a year and a half ago from another state where I lived before. And we attempted to do this very similar process where I came from, but we didn't have the help of an organization like Stepping Up. So our process kind of spun its wheels. We had all the people in the room, we identified all the issues, the problems, but we had trouble moving forward with solutions because we didn't have anybody at the helm helping us with that guidance. So that's a little bit about Stepping Up. I'm Kim Carter. I'm the Executive Director of NAMI Geauga. I moved here a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, from Kentucky, where I have been in mental health pretty much my whole life. I'm 58, and I've been involved with mental illness issues since I was 15 through family members that suffered from significant mental illness. My own son, who's 30, is severely mentally ill. He's been homeless for the last 9 years. Currently, he sits in a jail in Washington, D.C. for a crime that he committed while being psychotic, because he's homeless and untreated. So for 9+ years, I have followed my son all over the country, like not physically followed him, but everywhere he goes, he gets involved in the justice system, he gets in jail, and I have to learn a system and processes and laws and providers and all of this everywhere he goes so that I can advocate for him. So I'm a huge advocate for mental health. This isn't something that is a job to me, this is my life. This is what I do, and I am literally trying to save my son's life and others' lives in the work that I do. So this is deeply important to me. I'm very passionate about this. It is my identity. So I'll entertain any questions or whatever.
And that's, Kim, I appreciate you sharing that with everybody, because that, I mean, you struck a nerve when we met, face to face, and I just think what you're doing, obviously, is so important. It's such at the forefront right now, and I think, speaking with the sheriff, he'll tell you right now the mental health in the jails is on the rise. And people think of mental health, but there's a component with the drug issues that are going on there. So there's, to house these type of inmates as they come in, fresh off the street, there's a lot of different issues going on, and trying to segregate them from the rest of the population is a challenge, and it's just there's a lot of different moving parts there. The way I talked to the judge last week, and she was again super passionate about this, and she's been the one that's really been the driver in Ohio. The way I summed it up is this is kind of like taking a inventory of what we have here in Geauga, what's available in Geauga County. Because I know there's lots of, you hear of all these different organizations and 501s and what's available, but there's never been a rhyme or reason, or maybe everyone going to the same beat, and I think this will help put some organization around this, and that when issues do come up now, we'll have a place to plug those in, So I'm all for this. I think it's a great initiative. I mean, it doesn't cost us anything. I mean, if anything, what's costing us is,
What the costing
To
is
do
not doing
nothing.
it.
yeah.
To do nothing costs us a lot more.
Right.
I'm
Then it would
1,000%
cost-
for this program.
And in our discussion, when we talked a couple of weeks ago, we talked about how great of a collaborative county Geauga County is, and I found that to be true coming here as an outsider. But what I have observed as a newcomer, while there is collaboration, there isn't a lot of coordination. And as you and I talked about, I'm a business person, I have an MBA, I'm working in mental health, and but I still have a business mind, and I see waste, I see ineffective services. I have it on vibrate, but it's like going crazy. Welcome to my life. And I don't work in crisis anymore. I used to work in crisis where I had to answer it every time. But anyway, I see this as a means for us to be leaner. In the manufacturing world, you already know about Lean Six Sigma and being very lean, and everything that you do having a purpose, and it's being very effective and very efficient. And we're moving those kinds of principles and practices into even the nonprofit world, or into processes like this, because resources, it doesn't matter if it's financial resources, human resources, whatever it is, they're finite. We don't have an infinite amount of them available. We need to use them very effectively. And that's my training and education.
It's a good way to look at it. It is, there's only so much to go around, and, we need to be efficient with it and effective with it.
Right.
And
And we could be doing so much more with what we currently have available to us if we would just take a significant look, a critical look, a deep dive, an evaluation, and determine effectiveness.
So we have a somewhat of a blanket or form
Sample resolution
that we will get prepared. It looks like there's some things we need to fill out from a standpoint of the county, not too much.
And we have to do our due diligence, run it through legal and things like
Sure.
that. But,
Yep.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to create this resolution and be ready for next week.
I'm available for questions if, you need anything from me.
Does anyone have any questions? Anybody? I know, Sheriff, if you have any comments, just in general, what you think about it.
It's a problem across the country, and because there's no mental hospitals anymore, the jails become the mental hospitals.
Right.
And the follow-up after they get out is what's lacking. While they're in jail, they're getting treatment and medication, but when they get out, there's nobody, sometimes they don't have anybody to keep them. And I always use the example of, there's a guy down in Parkman that everybody in the town knows when he gets off his medications, because he starts throwing trash cans in the street and causing problems. But when he's on his medication, he's fine. And he can be, a part of society that doesn't take up our time. So that's definitely the missing link there, is when these people that get out, or people that don't have a support when they are living alone. So I think it's a good idea.
There's an example in Delaware County which we will learn. If the resolution's passed and we begin our work, we will hear about an example in Delaware County of an individual who has been repeatedly incarcerated over and over and over and over. And they've done an evaluation of the cost that that man has had to the county, and it's over $1 million. Had he been treated and stabilized and had a home and all of that, the calculation would have been a couple $100,000. So this overall saves money and saves lives, which is my passion. So.
Wait, 1 second, my motion.
Second.
Just gonna,
Yes.
we'll actually vote on the October.
Yeah, we'll have it tomorrow, and then we'll get that back to the proper channels. I think it goes back to, we'll notify the judge, I believe, right? She'll be the next one, or we'll let you know.
Yeah, just let me know,
Okay.
because I take my recommendations from stepping up.
Okay.
because that's what they're there for. So
Okay.
I'll be available this week for anything you might need, and then if you need me to come back to this meeting a week from now, I can
It should
do
be
that too.
good. I think this sets the process, and I think they'll do our evaluation in October. They said if we get it done,
Yes.
today, either
Right.
next week.
Right.
If we get it done soon, they'll be able to do October evaluation.
And we get started, everybody put your seatbelts on, and
Great.
off we go.
Thank you.
Thanks
for coming in.
Yes.
Thanks, Kim.
Executive session for the purpose of discussing pending or imminent litigation. I have a motion.
Second.
Commissioner Spudler. Commissioner Lyon.
Yes.
Yes.
The board, myself, and legal counsel, Emily.
Thanks, Kim. I'll talk to you. Hey, how are you? Good. Which one is that one? Yeah. All right, I'll be around. I don't know. Hey, you got something on that?
Yeah, last week I did.
What's up? Okay.
How are you doing?
Is that vanilla? I want to talk about that.
Yeah.